Welcome. In this lesson, we're going to be talking about fonts. Historically, this has been a difficult issue within browsers. Typical browsers are limited to about 4 basic fonts. And so when it comes to laying out a page, this is a severe limitation. What most graphic designers have done is what you can see here. If I highlight this top of the page, you can see that all of that text has been put into an image. And so you see a lot of this being done on the web. Pages look good, however, you're paying a pretty high price. Compared to a font, an image is much heavier. Worse than that, your search engine optimization is difficult because anything that you put into an image does not get collected by the crawlers on the web. Now, if you look at the mobile space, this is even worse. Most mobile devices are limited to just one font. So for this and other reasons, Google started a few years back on an effort to create open fonts for the web. And this has been really successful. And today, you can plug these into your pages very easily. I'm going to go ahead and show you here the site where you can browse through them. This is google.com/fonts, and you have well over 500 fonts. So this is a tremendous amount of richness that you can add onto your pages. So in this example here, or in this lesson, I'm going to give you a little bit of a tutorial as to how you can use these Google fonts. So let's go ahead and move to the editor, and we're going to write a bit of text in a div. We're going to say making the web awesome. Well, let's say beautiful. And if we load that into the page, we see that we have no styling, right? So we're going to go ahead and make a connection to, and we put this in the same way in which we put in style sheets. So let me go ahead and see if I can get the autocomplete here from the beginning. That way I can simply remove the parts that I don't need. In HTML5, we no longer need the type. Here I'm simply going to copy and paste the URL for that font. And you can see there that it says fonts, Google APIs, and so on. And then at the end, family equal tangerine. I'm then going to use that in a style within the page. Again, we don't need the type. And I'm going to simply style the body. I'm going to add a couple of properties. The first one will be font family. And I'm going to use the family that I am downloading, which is tangerine and serif. Then I'm going to set the font size on a big one so I can see it, 48 pixels. Okay, I'm now going to save that page, and we're going to reload it within the browser. And you can see there how dramatically different our font is. And also that this might look like an image, but in fact this is selectable text, and this is very, very light. If we look at behind the scenes, well, this is not the behind the scenes we want this. We have simply text within the page, and at the same time we have a very beautiful, elegant font. So there's a tremendous number of fonts that you can use. I will leave it up to you to explore, and we'll go ahead and do one more example where we simply put this into a style sheet. So I have the style sheet here already prepared, and I'm simply going to copy and paste the text, and you can see here that you need this command at the beginning on your CSS, which is an import, and we're simply bringing down that font. Then we do the same thing as before, body, the font family, and then the font size for the body. So I'm going to go ahead and save this, and now we're going to make an edit to the page where we will go ahead and use that within the link. So let's go ahead and delete this, and then we're going to link to the Google Font.css. Google Font.css. So let's go ahead and save that, reload the page. And yes, you can see we still get the same functionality. If we look behind the scenes, we're simply now linking to that style sheet. So that's a couple of different ways in where you can bring the fonts onto your page. Now I mentioned also that I would show you a very fancy one, and that's this example right here. I'm simply bringing in a font. As you can see there, this is called Shadows into Light, and I'm going to try to create the effect of something that looks like an image, but it's not. So I'm going to go ahead and show you what that looks like, and you can see there that that looks very much like an image. It's a farm stand, but if I move through it, this is selectable text again. I'm going to go ahead and show you just a little bit more. The first part, the first page, looks very much like what we just did, except that now I am including farmstand.css. And then if we look behind the scenes, you can see here what I've done. I've broken it up into a few different sections, but I have the borders, the padding, the background. I'm using an external image, for that wood-like texture that you see. And then I have additional properties that give me that drop-down shadow on the text. But the end result is that it looks very much like an image, and this is a bit of the more artistic side. This is pushing on the boundaries. But for the most part, you will use fonts quite a bit, and this is a great resource to be able to style different parts of your document or different layouts within your portfolio of projects. So with that, I'm going to go ahead and close. Make sure you try a couple of these. Try a couple different fonts. You can go to Google Font, and there's little here guides as to what to do and how to download it, how to create those links to Google, and then just simply include them within your page as we have done. You can see here the basic one, the basic import, and also you can just put it directly within the page as we did at the beginning. So these are worth trying out. Try a couple of them as an exercise. And with that, I'll go ahead and close and say goodbye.